Hey guys, welcome back to the Circle Club. I'm here with Corey of What's Next, our Marvel expert, but he knows a little bit about everything else. I notice a lot of you guys are not subscribed, so make sure you subscribe to us. You're watching the videos, but go ahead and subscribe because we make content every single week. Corey, let's waste no time and let's jump into this video. Ready? And 3, 2, 1.
What is this brief mortal life? If not the pursuit of legacy.
Whose death was that?
I think that's Daemon's wife.
We play an ugly game.
If you are to be a strong queen, your subjects must fear you.
Fire is such strange power. Everything that House Targaryen possesses is owed to
Ooh,
it.
look at that scene.
Someone stole Vhagar.
Oh boy.
There is a debt to be paid.
This is the highest of treasons.
Uh-oh, Hightower's back.
I promise you in time, you and I together will prevail.
Was that Hightower with the...
Now they see you as you are.
Oh, shoot. Who was, Wait, who was, I'm about to say Daenerys. Rhaenyra. Who was that at the end? She had the knife up to, like...
I think that's Allison, bro. I think that's Allison.
Allison might get cooked. Allison might get cooked.
Like we were, like I was talking about in the breakdown to the last episode. Allison's starting to crack, and she might hurt her case here with a move like that. You pull out a knife on a Targaryen. Remember back to the episode where Daemon got accused of killing his wife, right?
Yep.
And the guy was like, Sir Royce was like, even a Targaryen faces their problems or faces their consequences. And Daemon's kind of like, no, bro, no, we don't. So taking a knife out on a Targaryen, big problem.
You're
big
asking
problem.
for
That
it,
Cold
even if
War
you're the
might
queen.
turn into a real war. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, because that last name is Hightower, not Targaryen.
Absolutely. This scene kind of blew my mind too. Like, you know, this is one of those things we've been talking about from episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're at 7, and we're finally getting to see. We got Rhaenyra, you got Lord Corlys, you got Daemon. This feels like the Miami Heat or something coming together back when LeBron was with Dwayne Wade. Like, this is like a beast of a thing going on right here, man. Like, I feel like this crew together is almost too big to fail, bro. Like, and you've been saying that. You've been preaching since day one. Day one, you've been saying. You're the only one I heard saying this, that Daemon and Rhaenyra will get together. Don't care if we know Aegon's gonna get on the throne or not. These two will get together, and this might be the final turning point of, you know what? I don't care what the city has to say about it. Don't care what the council has to say about it. Don't care if people think, you know, I shouldn't get with my cousin. It's going down. Daemon is a man reborn. Once his wife died, that Phoenix rebirth happened, man. And Daemon's coming for heads. You know what? I think he might succeed. But how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I think one thing though to what you said about like this being the Miami Heat, right? Super team. We have seen the super teams get beat before. Shout out to Dallas Mavericks. Now, how does that happen, right? I think there's something that was in this trailer that was a very clear tell, right? And you're thinking back to the last episode. A big piece from the last episode that they let us know is that just because you have a dragon doesn't mean you're the only one that will ever ride that dragon. Dragons can be claimed, right? And as far as we know, there is a young man who has no dragon on the other side, Mr. Aemon Targaryen. And I'm going to throw out a bold prediction that I think Vhagar got stolen from Aemon because he is due for a dragon. And I think that would help shift the balance a little bit more to both sides because Vhagar is the biggest dragon, right?
Yeah.
So getting a big dragon like Vhagar on the Hightower side could shift that balance a little bit for them. So I think that is how Vhagar is lost to the other side is through Aemon. That's just my prediction. But overall, it's definitely a unit, right? You got Daemon who has I think it's Varaxes or Caraxes, I think it is.
Yeah, he's the man of the sea.
You got Rhaenyra, who obviously has Cyrax, but also both of them have the ties to the Valyrian house, right?
Yes.
Rhaenyra through Laenor, and Daemon through his wife, right? So now you're also it makes sense to have Lord Corlys be in cahoots with Rhaenyra and Daemon, right? So having them all together, I think makes a ton of sense. But
Yes.
also Rhaenyra and most likely Daemon coming together, I think makes a ton of sense, because I think also going back to this last episode, Laenor talks about wanting to go fight this war in the Stepstones. I could definitely see Laenor also being off, and I think that's what leads to that quick scene and snippet within this trailer where Laenor's mother has the 2 rings in her hand, right? It's probably Laenor and his sister's rings from them dying. So now they're probably going to still put their chips behind Rhaenyra because of Laenor's supposed kids, right? That Rhaenyra has, right?
Yeah,
and I think at the end of the day, Corlys, all he really cares about is lifting the Valyrian name, and as of right now, those kids have the Valyrian name, even if they're his actual grandkids.
Correct, exactly, and I think that is the most important thing. Is he doesn't matter. He just wants that name to survive and move on. One thing that reminded me a lot of was Sir Hightower. Like, you know, Hightower, similar to Corlys, is also trying to make sure that his name and his family name gets remembered. You know, they've got a seat on the Queen, but that's not enough. They want to remain a house spoken for. And so I would not be surprised if somehow, some way, the daughter gets married to someone of importance, or that becomes a factor. I think there was a scene in the last episode where they sort of focused on the daughter for a quick moment, and she seemed to be studying into herself. I don't think... The thing about Game of Thrones, this world, nothing is done without intention, right? And you know, you mentioned that quick line about how he said a dragon can be claimed, and how, you know, he didn't have the dragon. Similarly, I think the daughter being introduced here is going to be no coincidence. You even had Rhaenyra mention that their son get married to the daughter, so that she's going to be a capital or a piece that can be used in the Game of Thrones to sort of leverage people's position. But at the end here, we sort of see who we believe to be is Sir Hightower gets the hand call. So that is huge. How does he get in this position, do you think?
Yeah, that's the thing that's confusing to me, right? Is like Viserys got rid of him for obvious bias, right? Now, obviously, the Lionel Strong, the hand that just got offed, was a great hand, right? Very unbiased. But now he's gone. It's very hard for me to understand how you get rid of somebody for being biased. Now you're bringing them back after your next hand dies, right? Like, and I think there's a clear conflict of interest there. And the only thing that screams to me is that Viserys is maybe getting fed up with some of the things that Rhaenyra is doing, because it was Rhaenyra's decision that led to Otto being removed, right? So what did Rhaenyra do that allowed Viserys to think, okay, I'm going to bring Otto back? Because I think that has to be a conflict for Rhaenyra. Why would you bring Otto back as your first person after Lord Strong is dead, right? I think there needs to be questions answered there, because that to me doesn't make sense at the end of the day.
And then we see here too that he's clearly consulting Aegon, and he's going to start beginning his Littlefinger journey of trying to weasel his way through the crown. So that I also agree with you, Corey. I think that's going to be a very defining moment for this series, because that has to be done super well and very meticulously calculated, or otherwise it may just feel sort of like something that they made happen for the sake of the story versus what actually makes sense in the reality of what we're seeing here. Do you have anything else to add here, my friend? I mean, this next episode looks like it could be a classic. I mean, I just think alone, like, to see that scene, but the scene of the family together, and then this scene with Rhaenyra with this knife. It may be someone holding it actually at Rhaenyra versus the opposite way. So this episode has a potential just off of this trailer alone to me to be a
Yeah.
classic. I think it could be a classic.
I think this, knowing Game of Thrones and how Game of Thrones has always gone, usually by episode 8 is when the fireworks start to really pop off. So this next episode being episode 7, I see it. And I know we talked about last episode, Viserys probably was going to be in his last episode. Obviously, he's still in episode 7. I think this is that last episode that really pops things off. I don't know if Viserys actually dies or not, but I think clear cut with this knife, I think this is definitely Alicent, and this is the final, so to speak, dagger, pun intended here, that really pushes them completely apart in the strife and really makes this an open actual conflict, right? It's less more about just talking and it's about the actions. And I think it leads from this knife getting pulled out on Rhaenyra, right? Like that is clear treason, right? And it's going to be a clear issue moving forward, right? So I think this is going to be our last episode before the fireworks really pop off. And I think ultimately this scene that we're seeing right here is most likely going to be our cliffhanger at the end of the episode, to set us up for episode 8, knowing that, okay, things are really about to pop off. And I think it's all going to come from Alicent really breaking and not being able to handle the lies and deceit anymore. And she's going to pull this knife out, and it's going to make it obvious, right? Like these two cannot be on the same side. And this is the final dagger to that conflict that pops it off.
All right, guys, you heard it here. That's why you need to subscribe, because my man Corey always got the Dracarys takes here. Always absolute fuego fire. Make sure you guys comment down below what your thoughts are on this. You can completely disagree with us. Make sure you be kind in the comments and, disagree and not like a sane person. And remember, just be you. We'll see you guys in the next video, and peace.